Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Wildlife Safari from Djuma Game Reserve in South Africa. What a surprise! Look, the head of elephants feeding on the marula fruits down there. And by the way, my name is Patrick, and I'll be your guide and the presenter this afternoon. And Sebastian behind the camera, and Craig Kennedy back in final control. And this is absolutely a wonderful start. They're also taking it easy for the afternoon. Just feeding slowly on the marula fruits, and with the ears and constantly flapping, keeping themselves cool. So I see one big bull just coming out of a drainage line way down in the distance on the southwestern edge of quarantine, but it's moving away from this herd of elephants. Because the bulls tend to do their own things away from the breeding herds. They will separate themselves from breeding herd for a number of days, just wandering around and also moving between breeding herds of elephants, checking the reproductive status in them, and move on again. So that's a typical elephant bull's behavior. Sometimes they will try and form the small bachelor herd of about 2 to 7 or 8 individuals. And they also tend to split up and forage food individually, and obviously keep on contact with each other constantly. Whereas the females are very gregarious animals as a rule, and you wouldn't find a single elephant cow by herself. So they are always in the group of between 4 to 100 in a group. And in the hot summer days like today, and the elephants tend to feed under the huge trees and sometimes down the drainage line and riverbeds. Just to stay cool. And obviously in the late afternoon they will start moving up onto the high ground or to the water holes and drink and splash and wallow around in the mud. And this morning, and we we saw lots of elephant tracks all over the show, and most of the tracks that we saw, they were moving out of the concession. So I presume that this particular head of elephant is coming from the west, because we didn't do the western part of the concession this morning. We did a little bit of Zoe's Road and Rebecca's Road, but we didn't go to Impala Plains and Gowrie Gate side. Flapping the ears very slowly and steady, as you can see, because they're standing in some shades. But if they are standing in the sun, and they will flap the ears rapidly, just to cool the body off, as I said. They also tend to doze standing up, the elephant in the mid-days. And sometimes they will try and rest their trunks or the head against the trees. Hello everyone. And, I do believe that you are also enjoying these elephants, same as Sebastian and I. It's very nice to start the game drive with one of the big five animals. And we often find the leopards sometimes here on quarantine in the early morning at the beginning of the drives. Sometimes the lions or buffaloes. So this is a very good starting point of the drive, especially this time of the year with lots of animals being around, especially the elephants. Being very, very active around in the area, eating the marula fruits. So there's some elephants just crossing over the road in front of us, and they look like they are slowly making their way towards Gowrie Dam. So we're just going to quickly catch up with them before they disappear. And moving pretty fast. I might not be able to catch up with them. And unfortunately, We can't go to Gowrie Dam at the moment because the dam drive hasn't moved out yet. So the guests are still in camp. Woodland kingfisher calling. Let's go around this way. Don't want to disrupt the elephants enjoying the marula fruits. You know, this elephant cow on the right hand side, it is relatively older. Brandon, good afternoon to you. Brandon wants to know, how long does an elephant live? Elephants can live up to 65 years in the wild. She has had a mud bath earlier. If you look around the ears and behind the ears and the shoulders and the front legs are a bit darker. That's obviously from the mud in the water. This young elephant on the left hand side, there might be the son of this female. And the other one might be hers as well. You know, sometimes the elephant cows and will separate themselves and the youngsters from the breeding herd if they aren't happy about the other individuals within the herd, especially the bulls that tends to harass them sometimes. But they will eventually rejoin the breeding herd. Sandy, good afternoon to you, and welcome on Uganda. And Sandy would also like to know if there are any coloured animals in the Kruger National Park, and she thinks that she might have seen a coloured elephant before. There are certainly coloured elephants in the Kruger National Park. I've also seen lots of coloured elephants within the Sabi Sand and the Kruger. They only colour them for the research programs that are happening in the Kruger National Park. And the coloured elephants are usually the oldest elephant cow. Obviously the Matrak. It's very, very easy to track her down and find her together with the other elephants, because the Matrak wouldn't necessarily leave or separate herself from the breeding head, which, as I said earlier, that sometimes the elephant cows and the youngsters will separate themselves away from the breeding head just for a number of days if bulls are distressing them. But with the Matrak, and then she is the leader of the breeding head, and she basically leads the breeding head to the better grazing and water availability areas, and also to stay away from the danger and from the bulls harassing them. And you'll also see the big elephant bulls, the tuskers, also coloured, because they also track them down and dart them and take the measurement of the tusks and check the movement and that sort of thing. So they don't color them just for the sake of putting the colors in them. There's always a reason behind it. Just look at her ears are covered with mud. See, the elephant cow's tusks are a lot more smaller and thin and sharper than the bull's tusks. They don't use them for fighting. They only use them to defend themselves against the enemies. Now, when the pride of the lions are trying to go for the babies, that's when they need to use the tusks and the trunk as well. And also for feeding. But elephant curs are not as destructive as the bulls, as I said a couple of days ago. So you wouldn't see the elephant cows and pushing the trees down, which they do sometimes, especially dry season. But as I said, they don't do it as often or as regular as the bulls do. But they will every now and then use the tusk to strip the barks off, just to get a nice fresh barks of the trees and the roots sometimes. But the bulls then tend to push the trees down. Sometimes they do it just for the sake of doing it, just to show off and test or show the other individuals how strong they are. And sometimes just to take away the anger, displacement, aggression, that's what it's called. The bulls are very, very competitive, so they often fight with the other bulls for the mating rights. And so females don't compete for dominance at all. Hello, my gal. She looks pregnant to me, eh? If you look on the size of his stomach, and it's nice and round. Just look at that. So she might be pregnant, yeah. It's 22 months gestation period. It's a very, very long time. It's almost 2 years. And most of the herbivores have a very long gestation periods. Impala's about 5-6 months, elephants 22 months, rhinos about 14-15 months, giraffes that's about 15 months thereabout. And having a very long gestation periods, and the baby is obviously born fully developed, which they have to because they are the prey species. Otherwise, then they will be extremely vulnerable to the predators. So they must be born and able to protect themselves from the predators, obviously by able to run as fast as they can to escape from the predators, otherwise they will get eaten. So the prey species babies then are able to stand and run around within 45 minutes to an hour after birth. So the predators' babies are obviously born undeveloped because no one really hunts them. Yeah. So who can hunt the hunters? So they're born blind because they've got a full protection from the mothers. And that's why the gestation period is very, very short compared to the vegetarian species. And the other interesting thing about the elephant is that when the female is due to give birth and it doesn't go away or doesn't separate herself away from the herd to go and give birth in the private area, like most of the antelope species do. So the elephants generally give birth within the family. But I have witnessed two elephants, cows, and giving birth to babies in the Kruger National Park many years ago. And the fascinating thing when the elephant cow gives birth to a baby is the members of the family do celebrate for a brand new baby born elephant. So they will all raise the trunks and start trumpeting and touching the baby with their trunks, and so they basically celebrate, as I said, and they welcome the baby to the new world, and you can see lots of excitement going on, and it's just amazing to see. And they will also try and get the baby off the ground, and well, I mean it is something that is unforgettable. Unforgettable experience. So they are slowly moving towards the other head. There are happy animals at the moment because of the Marula fruits being into season. And these two youngsters must definitely be her offsprings. They're very in size and age, obviously. So this one on the left-hand side, next to the Marula tree, is the oldest baby, and that is the youngest baby. Sometimes the elephant cows do give birth to twins. There are coincidences like that. But it is very rare for an elephant to give birth to twins. Yeah, she's definitely pregnant, yeah. I have no doubt about it. See, they are slowly but surely moving towards the other head, as I said, and we're just taking it easy. Just moving from one marula tree to another. There are lots of marula trees around you in quarantine here. Corinne, good afternoon to you. Corinne wants to know if the elephant can fall pregnant while she is still nursing the other calf. Yes, it is possible. She can fall pregnant while she is still nursing the other calf. Now some calves don't take too long to stop breastfeeding. And now the elephant usually wean the calves at the age of between 8 months to 9 months, thereabout. But I have seen, which I thought it was quite strange, the hyena allowing her previous offspring to cycle from her. And she has the brand new calves. Which also happens to the cows as well, to the regular cows, where the previous cow will continue drinking milk from the mother, even if the mother has a brand new calf. And the mother allows the calf to, or the previous calf to suckle. So I think it is very possible that the elephant cow can fall pregnant while she is nursing the calf. So if she does give birth to the new calf, then she might not allow the previous calf to continue to cycle. She has to save a nutritional milk for the brand new baby. It's like when the elephant has miscarriage, and she will come into estrus, and then shortly after she had miscarriage. So it is a principle that applies to most of the animals, like lionesses losing the cubs, or when the cubs get killed by other lions, and then they will immediately come into estrus. Look at that grating with the trunks. And some cows don't take too long to be weaned, as I said. They're bonding nicely with each other, yeah. It's very interesting. So the elephants have a very, very strong social structure and social behavior. And look at that baby elephant under the chin of the bull elephant. He was almost resting his head against its back. Look at that again. Wow. This is amazing, yeah. The young bull and the female is playing over there. They twisted the trunks around each other, and the tusks were also touching. Yeah, she's had enough, she's moving off. She's joining her babies, and the bull is walking towards her again and still keen to play with her. This is a relatively young elephant bull, and he will be about 20-25 years old. They like smelling the vehicles. So he's coming closer to the vehicle now to observe us. It's right behind the vehicle, smelling Seb's back. shall we start moving around? It looks like this elephant still going to spend some time here in quarantine. And I do believe that they will go and drink water at Gowrie Dam a little bit later this afternoon. They are relatively close to Gowrie Dam, and as the crow flies is about 160 meters away from Gowrie Dam itself. There was a house here. You can see the round. See, it's semicircular shape. So we might catch up with them later again. We'll see how it goes. So the plan for this afternoon, and we're gonna have a look around in the south and check all the water holes and see if there will be any activities around. And this morning there was a vultures activities around the Chelopin area, and we drove around through the bushes and down the drainage lines, and we didn't find anything. There was just a lot of hyena tracks activities in the drainage line, moving up and down. Perhaps the hyenas killed something last night or early this morning, and finish it. And then towards the end of the drive, and the vultures started circling around in the sky, and then headed north into Manyeleti Reserve. I didn't see them descending or taking off from the ground. So they only take off from the trees and started circling around in the sky and then moved off. So I don't think that there was anything left there. That's why they left, as I said this morning. So if there was something big, and they would have sat there and until midday, or until the predators dispersed and had an opportunity to finish off the remains. So the hyenas could have killed something small, or a nyala or impala or something down there by Chelapan. So we're just gonna swing past that area, see if we can pick up anything. Or there's still a couple of vultures sitting in the trees here in the drainage line. Shoot, a couple of vultures sitting in the dead trees over there. Just gonna move a little bit forward. Sorry?
Something must have happened, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I've got no doubt about it. Yes, it's definitely something that happened here last night or early this morning. Most of the trees that were full of vultures here this morning. Every single dead tree that you can see here were full of vultures sitting and waiting. Still one or two vultures still circling around and also descending on the other side of the drainage line. See, the problem with the white-backed vultures, as I said this morning, they won't really show you exactly where the kill is, because they tend to sit further away from the carcass, especially when the predators are still present. But whereas the wooded vultures tend to sit very, very close to the carcass, and sometimes the hooded vultures will follow the lions around, because they also eat the lion's feces to get more calcium in the bodies to develop the eggshells. And I don't see any hooded vultures around here. And this morning there wasn't any either. Maybe you can have a look around again. We might be lucky this time. But this morning we tried, and we drove through this bushes and we drove over the drainage down on the other side, and we had no luck. So it will be interesting to know what actually happened here. I'm just gonna check the area that we haven't checked this morning. This part of the bush we haven't checked. And this morning we had the Lepus tracks south of Chelapan, coming down this way. So you never know. Can't go in further.
Why?
Because of this branch. This parallel branch in front of us. Where's my radar? Oh, you got it. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah. You want it?
No, not really. Okay, I'm just going to take a short walk just down towards the drainage line and see if we can find anything. I can hear the vultures getting excited on the other side of the drainage line. Maybe they're mating, yeah. You never know. So yeah, I'm just going to take a short walk around. I wouldn't be longer than 5 minutes, and yeah.
on something on the ground.
Yes.
Get it? Feeding on something, huh?
Yeah.
In the riverbed or what?
On the other side, yeah.
We can't go there.
We'll have to go around Vulture's Nest Road here. Okay. It was a very, very quick walk and a look around, as I said. It sounds like there's a whole bunch of vultures and feeding on something on the ground on the other side of drainage line. So we're just going to quickly do a lip around Vulture's Nest Road and see if we can be able to get into the area where they are, because it's very thick, but yeah, we'll try our best to see if we can get in there. Hope Seb wouldn't lose his camera again this afternoon. Are you very careful this time? Awesome. Super. And for those who did not manage to watch the drive this morning, and we went off-road to try and figure out what could have happened down at drainage line with the vultures' activities and around Chelapan this morning, and Seb lost his camera. Relatively new camera. Fell out of the vehicle. So instead of looking for what we were looking for, and we ended up looking for Seb's camera. And Seb sat on the bonnet of the vehicle, and I was driving, and we were tracking the camera, Canon. And luckily we found it, lying in the long grass. And lizard again, I'm going to tie it around his neck. Sandy, good morning to you. And Sandy wants to know if the vultures are facing in one direction. Oh, afternoon, actually. Sorry, Sandy, it might be the morning in where she is, but anyway. Wants to know if the vultures are facing in one direction, will that help us to find the carcass? See, there they are. I can see quite a few of them and just taking off from the ground. And there's still also quite a few of them still sitting in the trees, and there's some more vultures sitting in the trees on the left, on the right hand side. The whole bunch of them, wow, lots and lots of vultures. Lots and lots of vultures. So we're gonna have to go off from here. I think you can see the hooded vulture sitting in the middle of the tree over there. That might help us. Sandy, I'm just gonna go off-road there and I will address your question in a little while. There's a few wooded vultures sitting there. Lots of vultures there. Yeah. Possibly, we'll see. Oh, giraffe.
And the giraffe?
That giraffe, yeah, over there.
Okay. Can't see it yet.
Oh, you can't because you've got a tree on your way. See that?
Maybe she's just doesn't give it. Maybe she...
I don't know, we'll see when we get there, yeah? See, the hooded vultures helped us. They were close to the vulture. The white-backed vultures are very far, yeah? They're right on the other side of the drainage line. And that's where we looked this morning. We looked on the other side of the drainage line, and then we didn't come around this side of the drainage line because there was hardly any vultures this side. Looks, yeah, looks older. No. Oh. It is a bull giraffe. It may have died of old age or some sorts of diseases. The giraffes generally die of old age. I didn't hear you guys getting mobile.
We did Kuruma, but we were not Kuruma.
Yes, we just Koroko. So the vultures have eaten the most of it, and there's not much left there, just the skin, the legs and the neck. Smells nice, eh?
Yes.
It's beautiful smell of the bush.
We don't know what
No, I don't think maybe. It might be that died by that. Because. Stand by.
And there might be some hyenas and or leopard around in the vicinity. Yeah? As I said, there were lots of hyena trucks and moving in and out of the block here, and some were just moving up and down in the drainage line. And it looks like the predator has been here. You can see the bite marks on the hind quarters, and also on the ribs. Okay. ngenisima satomntangweni watsonifini
Are you filming?
So the vultures have also been feeding on the giraffe carcass here. So them must be nice and full. It looks like he died about a day or two ago. This is not stinking horribly. Chris, good afternoon to you. And Chris wants to know the average life expectancy of a giraffe. It's about 28 years, Chris. That's how long they can live, the giraffes. If you take it into perspective, in 28 years, it's very, very short for an animal of the size of a giraffe. But anything has a purpose in the world. But I would like to go and take a closer look on him to see if you can see any bite marks around his neck. But he doesn't look like he's got any bite marks on his neck. So I'm pretty sure that he died of old age. They cannot just jump off here and before assessing the situation around in the vicinity. As I said, that they may be the predator lying down in this long grass or thick bushes, resting and busy digesting the meal. Okay, I'm going to take a look at the giraffe, and I don't see anything around here. So if there is any predator hiding in this thick bushes, then will obviously give me a warning, which will also be nice to see a predator around.
It's putting the flash because it's in the shade. Craig is asking if you can bring a sample for a DNA test for the CIA lab.
Again, bring what?
A sample
Sample.
for a DNA test.
It's not an adorable smile over there at all. But it's not just smelling as bad as I thought. And as you saw me walking around it, there's no bite marks around his neck at all. Just lots of teeth marks all over his body. That's obviously from the hyenas and the other predators feeding on it. Since it died over there. And I didn't even see the tracks around it, because there's lots of hyena sorry, not the hyena tracks, the vultures tracks and the feathers and everything all around the carcass. So it obviously died of old age. And you can tell that he was a very old buff giraffe bull. Just looking at the size of his horns, and then the color of his skin is quite dark. So he lived his life. So yeah, maybe we can come back here a little bit later this afternoon when the temperature will be cooler. So we might find some activities around the carcass. There's an elephant walking through there. The Indian station approaching the Ndulamiti carcass. Afternoon, where are you? Okay, just come due west from the Torchwood itself. There's also in Ndlovu over here. And the vultures' activities and might attract more hyenas and the other predators to come and investigate. But there's not much left there, and as I said, there's just the legs and the ribs and the neck and the hyenas will chew the head a little bit. We're obviously trying to get into the tongue because it's very, very tender. But they haven't yet touched the neck. And the front legs is also a little bit of a meat left for the hyenas and the other predators to eat. Okay, I'll come back later. Let me just drive through there. First one now. have a very strong feeling that there will be a predator lying down in this thick bushes and long grass here. I just want to get to the road and oh well. Okay, I believe there are lots of questions and pouring into farmer control. And I had a question earlier about the vultures facing in one direction, if that will help to locate the carcass or the predator in the area. Certainly, if they are all facing in one direction, yeah, that might help to locate the carcass. But generally, when the vultures are sitting in trees, they don't sit in one tree, and they tend to sit in different trees depending on the number of them. So and they will also be facing or looking in different directions. So I've never seen the vultures sitting and facing in one direction or facing the general direction of the kill or a carcass or a predator. So they look in different directions. But as I said earlier this afternoon and again this morning, that the hooded vultures are the best vultures to help you to locate the carcass, because they tend to sit next to the carcass or a kill or predator if the predator's around, whereas the other vultures usually sit away. That's why we did not manage to find the carcass this morning, because the vultures were sitting all over the area, and we never thought of checking the eastern bank of Mulawati. But Seb had the suggestion of checking the eastern bank of Mulawati, and I thought there's nothing on the eastern bank of Mulawati, because the whole bunch of vultures were sitting on the western bank of Mulawati. Huh? I will do. And I do listen to you. Seb is just saying that I must listen to him from now on. And it's another question from Destiny. Hi Destiny, and afternoon to you. And Destiny is referring to that dead giraffe bull. If it died of diseases, will the animal still eat it? Yeah, very much so. As you can see, the vultures are still sitting in the trees, waiting to eat, and then some vultures have already been on the ground and feeding on the carcass. The hyenas have been there, and possibly the leopard has been there, because this morning we had the tracks moving south in that general direction. And the dead animals do transmit disease to the scavengers and the predators, especially TB. And you should have heard of the outbreak of TB throughout the Greater Kruger National Park, and there has been disastrous, and it has been killing lions and other predators. You might have heard of rabies and feline AIDS and the other virus diseases that animals get and transmit it to the other animals. Anthrax also is one of the dangerous diseases that we get in this area. And even vultures do transmit disease to the vegetarians, because if they eat a sick animal and go and sit in a tree and deposit the dung in the leaves, and also go and have a bath at the dams, and they spread the disease around, and if the giraffe comes and feed on that particular tree where the vulture has been sitting and depositing the dung, and will get the disease. Jennifer, I presume this is Jennifer Bart. Good afternoon to you. And Jennifer wants to know if I recognized that giraffe bull. No, Jennifer. I had a very, very good look at him. I walked around. I didn't see any diagnostic features on him. Because it's there are a few ways to recognize animals. It's either with floppy ears, or a scar on the body, or a or shorter leg, and those kind of things. But yeah, and animals like giraffes that are non-territorial, it's very, very difficult sometimes to actually recognize them because they come and go, move around into different locations almost every day. So it's not easy, and even if you see it in for a few days and general speaking, not we, but I personally don't look for things to identify non-territorial or recognize non-territorial animals. I think it's pointless. There's an elephant right here, because tomorrow will be gone. We'll be in the Kruger or further down south or up north in the Timbavatu Manuleti Reserve. They don't stick around in one area for too long. Hello, baby elephant. Where is your mom? I'm just gonna go a little bit forward. Some more elephants, there's two are right here. He's not accommodating us. Actually, this is she. Yeah? Small breeding head of Ndlovu at Treehouse Dam. Sounds like there's some more elephants trumpeting dip into the block. Here we go. The young elephant cow is responding. We're going to catch up with them later again. We had an awesome elephant sighting this afternoon in quarantine. I think we should move on and start our leopard search. This is Gorilla Jordan. Gorilla is married to Yambili Jordan, so it's Gorilla Jordan. He fathered Misha Renduna. I'm not too sure who fathered Gorilla's first litters of cubs. Tandin Tingani. And the Gorilla's new cubs have been fathered by Yambili Jordan again. If anyone knows who is the father of Gorilla's first litters of cubs, the daughters, not the boys, the daughters. These Gorillas new cubs are the fed litters of cubs. So first litters of cubs were the females, which one of the females has the cubs as well. But we don't get to see her often. Yeah? She's often seen in the western sector. And the other female, or the other daughter, is also often seen in the eastern part of Jomo Game Reserve, around Koro, and sometimes she overlaps up into Belfshoek, Chitwa, that area. So it's Gorilla Udon. Yep. Go Zowis Road. I think it's still quite early to start the leopard search now. It's still warm. And I also had a question earlier about how often do we see the giraffes in this area. The giraffe's movement varies. In terms of the change of seasons. So in this time of the year, in summer, we don't often see the giraffes around. Whereas in the dry season, we see the giraffe almost every day or every drive, depending on the area where you go. So if you go into giraffes country, then you'll see them almost every day. So this is the perfect habitat for the giraffes, and there's lots of acacia trees around and the other tree species that giraffes relish. Pam, good afternoon to you. And Pam, would also like to know how old do I think that giraffe was? And he looked very old, Pam. As I say that he is quite dark, and he was also bald on his horns, so he has lived his life. As I said, that giraffes live about 28 years, and it could have been 28 years or over 28 years, or just nearly 28 years. You must also remember that it's not only the elephant that the teeth were out of age. Other animals do, zebras, giraffes, even predators, lions and leopards. Yet teeth get worn down with age. So it is a principle that that applies to most of the animals. So, and unfortunately, that giraffe's teeth were not exposed. So if they were exposed by the hyenas and chewing the skin, and the vultures also feeding on it, and then I would have been able to tell whether he was too old. But obviously, as I said, looking at the color of the skin, and then it shows that he is an old giraffe bull. So that will have been an additional confirmation of age of that particular giraffe bull. Lisa Osborne, good afternoon to you. And, Lisa would like to know what are my thoughts of when the animals, or the older animal, separates itself to go and die. It's been a tricky question. I don't know, Lisa, what are your thoughts regarding this matter? I think what we must understand is nature is nature. So it's uncontrollable, and then when I say it's an uncontrollable, it's that we can't really interfere with nature. So if something has to happen, and it happens. So if the animal separates itself to go and die, it's animal's nature, as I said. I think from my personal perspective, it's a good way when the animal separates itself to go and die away from the family, because if it dies within the family, it will obviously stress the other animals, the other members of the family. Which it does. We see that with the elephant. When one of the individual member of the family dies, doesn't matter if it dies of old age or was an unnatural death, but it does stress them to the last degree, and they grieve, and they can see that they are completely distressed of the loss of the member of the family. So I think it is, as I said, this is my personal thoughts, that if the animal goes away and die, and it does cause less stress to the other members of the family. If you look at the at the size of the giraffe's teeth, and then will you be able to estimate the age of the giraffe? I think this is from Susie. Hi Susie. Good afternoon to you. Yeah, certainly you can, as I said. Because animals' teeth do wear out with age. So if the teeth are blunt and short, and you can be able to estimate the age of the animal. Remember, the animals, and they chew food. Most of the time. So that causes the teeth to wear out. Just thinking of where to go next. Maybe let's check Zoe's Road. I don't want to stay far away from the west this afternoon, because I need to come back and have a look around for gorilla and the cubs. So I'm just going to check a couple of roads in the north and possibly around Gowrie Dam, that area, and see what we can find. And also I need to go back to the giraffe just after the sunset and see if there will be any activities around. So that's pretty much the plan for the next 40 minutes remaining of the drive. So, but it might change as plans often change. If something happens, and then the plan will change. And perhaps there were something feeding on the giraffe this morning, because all the vultures were sitting in the trees. I blame myself for not listening to Seb. So you could have seen something interesting. More elephant tracks here. Possibly the same elephants that we saw in quarantine. Let me take the moment of silence and enjoy the ride. Driving around in the African bushveld. So the temperature is dropping quite nicely now. Very pleasant. This is my favorite time of the afternoon. And the vulture, no, it's taking off. Crop is very, very full. Yeah? And then go over, bolt it. Huge male whitehawk. It's very shy. His tusks about this long and curved like that. A banana shape. population of warthogs, and this area is getting better now. There were not many warthogs 5 years ago. And 20 years ago, the warthogs population was fairly good. And the number declined tremendously 20 years ago because of poaching and hunting. In the Kruger. The reason why the warthogs and it's warthogs particularly were heavily poached and hunted over the years is because of very, very tasty, very, very tender. And even though they are ugly looking creatures, but they taste very, very good. Lovely fresh breeze over here. Beautiful and natural air conditioning system. Also loving it, Seb? Absolutely gorgeous light, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Station, my radar has been down for a while. Any update on Western Garvey? Henry or Ephraim coming?
Western Garvey, no one is there.
Okay, copy that, thanks. Henry, did you guys book that field in Dolomici this morning? So, also found it this afternoon.
Yeah, not inside Western Garvey.
Now I'm asking about that field in Dolomici, if you guys book him this morning. Happy, thanks. Beautiful call from a grey hornbill. It's also displaying, doing this with the wings, flipping the wings as they are singing. We are on Vubu Road, Hippopotamus Road, heading south towards Gowrie Dam. Some Vubu is a Shangaan word for a hippo. Vubu Road. This road, and it gets very wet, slippery and muddy after some rains. When it dries up, and then it gets very bumpy here. Especially when the elephants and hippos and rhinos walk along the road, and After some rains, when it's too wet, they leave potholes. Glove up ahead, Jumbo. Jumbo on Jambon Junction, east of Gari Dam. Jumbo eating the marula fruits. Good afternoon, Sir Elephant. His tusks vary in length. So he is a fairly old elephant bull. His right tusk, which is our left, is a lot more longer than the right tusk. And the circumference of his left tusk is also slightly thickened than the other tusk. He's eating them one by one. And elephants have a very long eyelashes. And then an attaching membrane below the eyes, which both help to protect the eyes from the dust, as they are so fond of throwing dust and mud on the body. And also the long eyelashes help to protect the eyes from the bushes and the thorns and twigs when they are moving through the dense vegetations. Jennifer wants me to tell them how big the tusks are, because they don't really look big where they are. His right tusk is a lot more longer than the other tusk, than his left tusk. So I would say that his left tusk is probably about half a meter long, actually just almost a meter long, and his right tusk is about half a meter long. And they can get thicker and longer than this, and some elephant or some tuskers have about 2 meters long tusks, or 2.5 meters. Some have about 2.8 to 3 meters long, and when they walk in, they are almost touching the ground, like the Magnificent Sevens that they had in the Kruger National Park many years ago. There's one big elephant bull, one tusker elephant bull, up in the north of the Kruger, and around Shingwedzi and Mopani, and his tusks are huge and long. I mean, when he walks or when he is standing with his head right up, and his tusks about half meter off the ground. And the circumference of the tusk is about the same size as my thighs. He's a big boy, yeah. So he's got a genetic pool of the Magnificent Seven. Alrighty, I think we should move on and start searching for the leopard, and hopefully soon pass the giraffe carcass before we lose the light. Bye, Jumbo. See you tomorrow morning. If we can catch up with you later again. This is the same guy that walked by the giraffe carcass earlier. These tracks are coming from that direction. Okay, folks, unfortunately Noseba has lost control of the computer, and you can't change the settings or anything. That's why the picture is quite dark now. I'm just gonna try and make it to the end of the drive if we can. I'm just going to try and restart it and see what happens. The vultures are going to call it a day shortly after dark. They're not the nighttime species, or the daytime scavengers. can see the vultures flying around after dark and searching for food or scavenging, because it's not safe for them to do so. In the right tracks here. Now it's far. Just gonna go further down the road and go off. Here we are on the right tracks now. They're taking off from the ground again. I don't think that there's any predator around yet. So the vultures are still busy feeding on the carcass. There's one vulture sitting on the carcass. Just taking off as well. Nothing. The smell is taking our oxygen away, yeah? I'm suffocating now. Yeah, I'm gonna try Chelapan. So there's anything around Chelapan side and take it from there. No joy. Seb, do you still have your camera on you? Yeah, just checking. Three hide-eared ibis flying past above our heads, and I haven't seen a hide-eaters in a long time. Nothing, a chiller pen. Chickens, Franklin's, Spay Farms. Get out of my way. So the bird's gonna start looking for places to rest for a night. This time of the afternoon, and you will hear different birds calls and contact calling each other to get together and find a place to rest for a night. So no luck with gorilla in the Cubs, no activities. the giraffe carcass, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone. I'm going to stop right here at the junction. Okay, thanks very much for joining us this afternoon, and we had a wonderful elephant sighting, and especially the breeding head of elephants on quarantine, moving around and feeding on the marula fruits, and a single bull elephant that we also saw towards the end of the drive, also so great, and also lots of vultures activities around the giraffe carcass, and Mark is back tonight, and then he's driving tomorrow morning, and I'll tell him just to go and have a look around, see if we can find anything around the carcass. And you've been watching Wildlife Safari from Djuma Game Reserve, and my name is Patrick. Stay behind the camera, and Craig back in follow control. And we'll see you in the morning, and have a good day. Bye for now.